Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Yeah, Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we've got your go-home for AEW Dynamite. It's a September to dismember.
It'll be memorable because it's pretty long.
You know, if you're going to have like a big themed-ass episode, maybe have stuff happen in it. Perhaps, maybe.
Especially if it's the go-home to your pay-per-view.
Why didn't they? This is like an ECW shout-out. Why didn't they have this at the ECW arena? A lot of questions for this September to dismember, whatever it's called.
I don't have the answers for you.
Oh, darn it. Well, maybe we can workshop them. We could figure it out together. We also got your AEW All Out predictions in this episode and a bunch of random little news stories from the week that you want us to talk about. But first, oh boy, I don't know if the word palooza could be synonymous with disaster, but maybe in this case it should be. Larson, WRESTLEPALOOZA and ESPN, are they even ready for this thing?
No.
Oh.
No,
okay.
Of course they're not ready. This deal wasn't supposed to take effect till next year. They rushed it through.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch WRESTLEPALOOZA on Saturday and not have to pay an extra $30 to do it, guess what? Probably too bad. Because you're probably going to have to. This is from Awful Announcing. Quote, according to JT Lasker, Senior Vice President of Direct-to-Consumer at ESPN, it'll stay that way, as in not very many people will get it to watch it without paying more money.
So yeah, as we talked about earlier this week,
yes,
certain cable providers, the ESPN streaming service is supposed to be, if all things worked out well and they got all their deals worked out, available to anybody who already had ESPN in a bundled cable type service, including Comcast, Cox, Spectrum, the YouTube TV, all that
Dish
stuff.
Network,
Dish Network.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be able to get it with that, but there's like a huge amount of customers who don't have access because those deals have not been, set
signed,
yet.
inked.
Yeah.
Awful Announcing continues here. Quote, when asked by Awful Announcing during a press availability on Wednesday whether ESPN will offer some form of limited accessibility for paid TV subscribers that don't currently have access to ESPN Unlimited, the company's premium app tier that will house WRESTLEPALOOZA, Lasker said, no. That means WWE fans who get ESPN through distributors like Comcast, YouTube TV, Cox, Sling TV, and others will need to, in essence, double pay for ESPN if they want access to Saturday's event. That's the bad news. There might be some good news if you're patient. Awful Announcing continues, quote, but per Lasker, this accessibility issue won't last long. The ESPN executive says the, quote, vast majority of distributors whose subscribers aren't currently able to authenticate into ESPN Unlimited will be able to do so by year's end. That timeline, quite frankly, would be worst-case scenario as ESPN and Disney have deals expiring with Google and Comcast as soon as next month. If the network and its distribution partners want to avoid blackouts with these major platforms, the deals will need to come to fruition much sooner than the end of the calendar year.
So, like, there are still several. I mean, these are the other events. Let's say this doesn't happen until the end of the year. Saturday night's main event on December 13th, you can still get through Peacock. That's going to be on the Peacock. Yeah. So, like, if you still have Peacock from the WWE days,
you're good. If you like your NXT and you like your Saturday night's main event, you're good.
War Games.
Could miss that.
Gonna miss that. And October's Crown Jewel Perth.
Mm-hmm.
You missed that. Those are two big shows there. Those are two big shows.
Yeah, one huge stadium show, one huge international arena show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, a couple of Cena's last matches, probably. Usually the War Games thing, recently anyways, it has Mania implications. Usually it's sort of, I wouldn't be shocked if this year, for example, and I could be wrong about this, but they did something like Team Rollins, which is B Division, versus Team Punk,
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah,
Yeah,
you could see that happening, yeah.
So, they also say they have confirmed. It said the company also said it is not planning any outreach to customers that won't have access to the event. So it's not even like they're going to be like, hey, this is the deal thing. Like, why wouldn't this is crazy to me.
Because they want as many people as possible to pay that $30. and then forget that they paid that $30 to subscribe that thing. So on a monthly basis, they'll be charged that $30, even when it comes to the point where they can get it without paying the additional $30. Yeah. That's what they want to have happen.
Yeah. That's like so scammy.
Yeah.
It's so scary. Like, aren't you gonna, like, you're a massive $1 billion company who just cut $1 billion deal to get this stuff, and you're gonna do the whole like, hey, sign up for this, and then maybe you'll forget about it.
WWE's not alone in trying to wring every dollar and cent out of their consumer base, Steve.
Nah, man, pretty much. I mean, that's just sort of what it is these days. That's how business works these days.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. It's funny, dude, and I don't know if this is like a longer conversation, because all week we've talked about, WWE down bad. Like, I've heard from so many places and so many people and so many comments and about, it's not even necessarily like one thing. Some people have an issue with Brock Lesnar being brought back. Some people have an issue with just creative being mid, which it is across the board. Yeah. And I'm not even, AEW, their creative is mid right now. It's just it's not interesting. And
there's nothing really compelling happening on major televised wrestling these days.
Right.
There's not. And with WWE especially, you have this convergence of things where the creative's mid, Brock is back, WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia got announced.
Yeah, you look at the business
this whole WrestlePalooza mess. It's just a lot of things going on right now.
Yeah,
that is not generating much goodwill for WWE.
And I honestly believe that you can take the Saudi thing, you can take the Brock thing, you can take the ESPN thing, you can take a lot of that. You can take the for people who are not aligned with our current administration. You can take that stuff, Triple H cozying up to the administration. You could take all that stuff. And if the creative was compelling, if week to week was like, God damn, I got to watch this stuff, I feel like a lot of people would be like, you know what? Their business dealings are crap, but God damn, they're providing us grade A entertainment. So it doesn't bother me as much. But the bottom line is what we get on television for all this business shit. For all WWE making all this money, we really don't get anything that special.
No.
It's not like they're delivering grade A programming. Well, Triple H didn't even know what the fuck was going on Raw because he was too busy doing like the Kill Tony show. Which, hey, if you like Kill Tony, that's great. If he's a big Kill Tony fan, cool, right on. Go do that. But like not while your program is aggressively mid. Maybe pay closer attention. Maybe show up. Maybe know that the contract signing that was supposed to happen between Stephanie Vaquero and Io Sky, maybe show up for that. Maybe know what happened or what didn't happen. You're the chief content guy. We've been waiting fucking decades for you to step up because Vince sucked. And now that you do, you're really not that much better than your competition. Some money mark, that has been called a money mark. A fan with money?
Yeah.
You're not that much better.
No. I mean, if you watch WWE programming and AEW programming side by side, and you watch it with an open mind with no bias towards either, there's not a whole lot of difference in terms of the approach to telling stories.
Approach to telling stories. WWE relies on the name value of the people they have.
They rely on the characters that are there and the goodwill those characters have created with the fan base. They rely almost exclusively on that. AEW relies on the quality of the in-ring product.
Yeah.
That's the difference. In terms of the approach to how they're telling stories, honestly, there's not a whole lot of stories being told. There's a lot of feuds happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but there's not like twists and turns and plot points, and it's like segments where you're like, oh my God, I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
Yeah, yeah. Or even there's not much in the way of character evolution either.
Yeah, I mean, we can quibble about that one, I guess, to a degree, but any evolution that happens or any interesting developments within the realm of like character, specifically with WWE, since we're talking about that, is kind of mitigated by a lack of any real story surrounding that. You know,
I mean, like the most obvious example of character evolution in WWE is Jey Uso at this point.
Right? Yeah.
That's like one of maybe a handful you could point to in WWE.
You know, you have some interesting dynamics with Asuka, Kairi Sane. That stuff is pretty decent. There is stuff that is entertaining. I'm not saying it's committing maybe the worst crime right now in wrestling because it's not overly bad.
It's just kind of dull.
It's not bad. I'm not sitting there being like, God, this is horrible. Now let's all collectively go and say how bad it is and make fun of it. No, it just exists. It's just there.
Yep.
And that's the worst crime you can commit in wrestling is just being there.
Yep.
And that's why there's like not a lot of interest in what's happening right now.
Nope.
So
that's across the board. This isn't exclusive to WWE. I feel like it's the same with AEW. Like AEW, they've managed to rectify a lot of the issues that they had creatively in terms of like constructing shows that are watchable.
Yeah.
And they're much more consistent, but that's potentially come at the cost of anything kind of exciting or weird or interesting happening.
Yeah.
You know, it's really consistent. It's competent, rarely compelling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like last night, effectively 3 hours of Dynamite.
Oh, boy.
When not a whole lot happened narratively.
Yeah.
It makes it a tough watch. Listen, I want AEW to thrive and be successful because it's great for the wrestling business.
Yeah.
When AEW is doing things well, when they're hitting all cylinders, I like how they put on wrestling television. I find it enjoyable. Last night wasn't it, you know? And then to do 3 hours of it, it was a slog. It was. I rarely say that about AEW, but it was a slog.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like after All In, it's done nothing for me. It's like it doesn't I'm not going to say that cuz I'll make some people mad. But I find it because of the wrestling itself. Like the lucha match last night, the Mortas versus
Master Dorada, yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun. I can watch that
fun.
kind of shit all day long.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I was like, God, none of this is interesting to me. Like maybe some of the women's division stuff with the world title. I like all the characters there and how their dynamics are fun to me. But, you know, I mean, I think also the difference between WWE and AEW is like, AEW doesn't necessarily claim to be the place to do stories.
No.
And so WWE has to do stories in order for them to be compelling because they don't really have anything else.
Yeah.
And so
they have characters. That's it.
Yeah. And so, you know, WWE has to like put their best foot forward there when it comes to like their creative. But it's funny, dude. I think I mentioned this the other day. I did this poll on WrestleJuice where I asked people, where's your enthusiasm for WWE specifically right now? Mm-hmm. And I offered 4 options because that's how many options the YouTube community thread poll offers. In the garbage, low, not low, but not high. So in the middle.
Yeah.
And then high or super high. Only 3% said high or super high. One person that I noticed in the thing, because it's got 96 comments. Mm-hmm. One person said, I don't understand why people can't just sit back and enjoy it. Which honestly, if you want to get under my skin, say something like that. I will freely admit that triggers the shit out of me. Sit back and enjoy it. What kind of shit is that? If I come out of a movie, you and I go watch a movie and you're like, God, that movie sucked. In what universe would I ever be like, why couldn't you just sit back and enjoy it?
This is what would happen. Hands.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, this apple pie is cold. Sit back and enjoy it. Am I supposed to? I can't just do that.
Yeah. No. Or it's that, or just, you know, hey. The kind of the same thing is to sit back and enjoy it. It's like, oh, check your brain at the door and just let it wash over you, you know?
Like,
I'm like, I can't do that.
Like, okay, I can do that for Ace Ventura 2. Like, I understand that I'm not going to get a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. And it's like, oh, I love when he comes out of the rhino's ass because that's fucking hilarious. But at least there's creativity there.
Yeah, because it's clever and creative. You're not checking your brain at the door. You're appreciating it because, oh, that's something I haven't seen before.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
so you're not checking your brain at the door.
No, well, I'm not there for an intellectual pursuit. I'm not there for, trying to decipher Tommy Lee Jones's dream at the end of No Country for Old Men.
Listen, I'm not here trying to find. This is pro wrestling. I understand more often than not, there's not deeper thematic material at work other than these two people don't like each other, so they're going to fight. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So pro wrestling's not too different from the experience of going to see Ace Ventura 2. There's
your brain at the door is baked into the situation.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, there's examples where wrestling storytelling strives to be something more than these two people don't like each other, so they fight. Mm-hmm. Bloodline, Gargano Ciampa in NXT. I can probably name other examples.
Swerve Hangman, yeah.
Swerve Hangman in AEW. But more often than not, it really just comes down to that. Mm-hmm. And there generally is not much more to it.
Yeah.
Narratively than that. So it's not like I'm going into this looking to find, a moving intellectual examination of the human condition.
Right.
No. I understand this is what I'm getting for the most part. And yet, if you're still not achieving the anything more than the bare minimum, mm-hmm. then that's even walking into it knowing, all right, I'm not expecting much.
Yeah. And
at the bare minimum, you meet my expectations. How do you expect anybody to be excited about that?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So the bottom line is, the $30 ask, in this day and age, is it's a bit much, well, it's like get your shit in order and then present it. Like, what the fuck?
Well, it's not just that. If it was just one $30 ask a month, all right, but it's not. It's $30 for that, $20-some for Netflix, $10 for Peacock.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be a WWE completionist, that's what, $65 a month?
Yeah.
That's what, $750 a year? That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money to ask your fan base.
For like, what is it? You have like maybe 6 ongoing feuds that are going to culminate in pay-per-view matches, premium live event matches. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pay-per-view is so much easier. When they came out with premium live event, they really should have come up with something that rolls off the tongue like pay-per-view.
I know.
Yeah. I'm not going to decide what that is. I'm just saying they should have come up with something better.
I mean, ideally, it'd been something that was, PPV.
3 syllables.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But also it'd be great if it was they just found other words for the PPV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thing. So
yeah, I don't know. My brain.
I know premium live event does sound so corporate.
Well, it's a mouthful.
And it is a mouthful too.
I don't necessarily like to say PLE, but I can. I guess it doesn't matter.
I mean, like after years of saying PPV or pay per view.
Yeah, pay-per-view sounds great.
Weird.
Anyways, we're going to talk about the things that you want us to talk about coming up here in just a second. But we've got some sponsors for the show this week, Larson, so let's go ahead and talk about them.
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by him, Steve.
Yes.
I'm fresh off another prediction challenge win in August. Thankfully, I got my hat.
Yeah. We did the coronation yesterday. I'll be putting that up shortly.
Yeah. Here's the thing. As much as I love the hat, neither of us really need another hat to cover up what we got going on up here. So listen to me. What we need to do is get ourselves some personalized plans to regrow our hair from Hims.
All right, man. I knew you were going to do this again, and now I kind of regret giving you that hat because I should have put on both of them myself because that was
I earned that hat. I won.
Oh.
Listen here, Steve. Hims offers convenient access to a range of doctor-trusted, clinically proven prescription hair loss treatment options with ingredients that work in as little as 3 to 6 months. And best of all, you don't have to go out of your way to do it because Hims brings expert care right to you with 100% online access to personalized treatments. For example, you can get trusted treatments while sitting on the couch right there behind you, Steve.
Oh, man.
That one, yeah. So for simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, Visit hims.com/goinginraw. That's hims.com/goinginraw for your free online visit. hims.com/goinginraw.
Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information.
And this episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by Cash App. You know, I was recently reminded about how much overdraft fees stink. Thought back to when I was working my first job 30-some years ago, and I got hit with some ridiculous overdraft fee that basically ate up a full day's work.
Yeah, man. Overdraft fees are super annoying. Thankfully, though, Cash App does more than you think when it comes to having your back and making sure your money stays your money. If you direct deposit at least $300 in paychecks each month and use the Cash App card for purchases, you can unlock up to $200 in free overdraft coverage. If you overdraft unexpectedly, there are no hidden fees.
Manage your money on your terms and take advantage of free overdraft coverage up to $200 on Cash App today. For a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real. Just download Cash App, use our exclusive referral code CASHAPP10 in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App.
Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Overdraft coverage provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. All right, man, it's time now to talk about what the friendos want us to talk about. All little news bits from the week of wrestling that was. First up, from Diehard Homer. Diehard Homer says he wants us to talk about MJF and Andrade going back and forth online. So I've got a little bit of the back and forth here. And it's just things like MJF saying, "Hey, yo, Andrade, I'll be in Mexico beating the ever-loving shit out of Mystico in front of all your broke-ass countrymen. Let me know if you want to grab a margarita before I hop on my jet to Toronto to whoop Mark Briscoe's hillbilly ass." And then Andrade simply responded with the middle finger. And MJF says, "Oh, it's like that?" And MJF says, "Okay, perro," which means dog in Espanol. And then Andrade said, "In Mexico, it's mask versus hair, MJF pussy." MJF says, "Lol, no. Get over without burning another bridge, then we can discuss us having a match at all, pussy." And then it goes back and forth a little bit more. And he said something along the lines of, Sammy Guevara is my guy, but if you try some shit like that with me, it's going to get ugly, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know what any of it means. I don't think it means a damn thing, but look, I would put CMLL at the top of my power rankings of places Andrade's going to go to.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think this means anything as it relates to AEW. If it means anything, it's CMLL.
Could you see, because like Tony Khan would have some say in terms of, can MJF get pinned by a dude in CMLL to get that title?
Yeah.
Would you put Andrade at the top of your power rankings for people who would pin MJF to get that title?
I don't think Andrade would be on the top of CMLL's power rankings to pin MJF. But for a program, absolutely. I would think so. Andrade would be in contention. Yeah.
I don't know how. I legitimately don't know if like Andrade coming back to CMLL would be like, "Oh, our Hogan is back" or something like. I don't know what the relationship is, so I wouldn't know where he is on the power rankings for who's going to beat MJF. But yeah, I would assume that they would have people that they're trying to build there that could do the trick, I guess.
I mean, the name that makes the most sense because
Mystico.
MJF has been feuding with him for a while is Mystico. Yeah,
Mystico. Yeah, probably.
Benny Omega here says the news that Cody Rhodes was instrumental in getting Hiroki Goto the Street Fighter role.
This one I didn't do any research on.
I saw the headline.
Okay,
that's awesome. Good on Cody.
Good on Cody. Yeah, right on. I wonder if there are any other of Cody's friends. Like, was Arn Anderson like, Man, I told him I love that game. I used to play it all the time in my mid-'60s back in the early '90s.
Yeah, the arcades of the early 90s, yeah.
Right, Arn Anderson walking around like checking little kids and, creaming them at a fucking Street Fighter.
Stealing their quarters after he beats them.
Giving them spine busters.
Maybe Sean Spears was angling for a role in Street Fighter.
Right, yeah. How many people, the Nightmare family is thick and rich with potential players for Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that maybe one of them would want the role of, what is the role?
Goto, I think, is E Honda.
Oh, is he E Honda? Hun.
Yeah.
Who does Hun?
I don't remember.
Hun. Who does that shit? Nick says a new premium live event in Italy announced for 2026.
Cool.
Yeah,
Are they going to do it at the Coliseum?
Nick Khan said this. He said this is an interview with Sports Business.
Hold on. You know where they should do it? You know that Pink Floyd at Pompeii?
Yeah. Pompeii. Yeah, that'd be great.
They should do it at that old.
Oh, what a great shout! Yeah,
Coliseum. Yeah.
What a terrifying situation that was. The whole Pompeii deal.
Oh yeah.
You ever see like the cell phone footage from it?
Mm-hmm.
Really? It didn't have cell phones back then. That's wild. I think you're lying. I like that I popped you with that one.
Well, I was going along with it. You're supposed to go along with it too. And people are like,
I throw you a swerve.
Pompeii cell phone footage? What? They didn't have cell phones back then.
I go this way. You go this way. I go this way. Oh, see, man, that's the new. We'll lose.
I guess so. Just throw out something that's.
We got to go back and find the very first one of the "will lose." I think it was the Enforcer, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe
it was.
Yeah.
I forget who it was. One of us threw that at all of us, and oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I think it was Enforcer because he was getting a kick out of my.
It's the Wrestling News Now thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because they were like doing their own predictions. Khan said this about Italy. He says, almost half of our premium live events take place outside of the United States now. We believe WWE is a global property. We believe the results on these shows, both in terms of attendance and viewership, locally and globally, have been significant. We have seen... Okay, that's nothing.
Hold on. Just a bunch of corporate speak, man.
I'm trying to... Okay, hold on a second. Country only... Okay, he says next year they'll get a... the actual quote isn't even here. It's just a bunch of fucking global speak, double speak. Yeah, early next year, apparently. So,
right.
Yeah. Ideally, Pompeii.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That'd be great. A Go-Go Bell here said, this is a bummer. Prestige Wrestling is shutting down in a couple months, which sucks for the Pacific Northwest indie scene. They had a show here in Sacramento we went to.
We went to that one, yeah. It's a drag anytime. It's a tough business. Running an indie promotion and trying to make anything off it is a tough gig. It's hard. You need just money,
mm-hmm.
and good luck making that back.
Mm-hmm.
I that's a bummer. They ran a really great ship in terms of production and presentation. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the business of indie wrestling
is looking like these days.
Yeah, I just don't know.
I don't know either.
I know it's got to be tough. I know there are so many different, distribution, avenues that people can go through. There's not like one stop shop where everybody goes to the same place, and so there's like a cut of the money, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a different situation these days. Yeah. I don't even know what their YouTube channel looks like.
I don't either.
Mark Protasio says Bret Hart throwing shade at Triple H again, claiming there's not a single Triple H match he would consider great.
Triple H has one great match. It's the end of an era.
He's got at least one great match. I thought his SummerSlam match against The Rock on the ladder was really good too. I thought that was a great match.
It's very good.
I don't know. I appreciate you, telling the Bret Hart line though. Bret, I love Bret. He's great. So if Bret says it, sure, fuck it. Why not? Bret's right. What do I know?
There you go.
What do I know?
This one's interesting.
He said, he said a bunch of stuff though. Now I'm trying to look at the. Oh, here we go.
I'm excited to talk about this next subject, but go ahead.
He said he wishes that Triple H would have been in the dressing room when he knocked Vince out. He says because he might not be married to Stephanie today. What's the insinuation there?
That I guess if
Triple H was there,
that if Stephanie,
I've seen online people saying, "Oh, he's saying that he would have knocked him out too." But is that your read on this?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm guessing that's why I thought that he was trying to say that if Stephanie saw,
well, if Triple H saw it, was she in the locker room?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That Stephanie would be like,
wow, this guy's what MJF called Andrade. You know, maybe he calls him. Yeah, he said he's a guy I got very little respect for him. He's a phony, and he became Vince's hit guy. He said they're all such scumbags. Triple H, Shawn, Vince, they're set out to destroy me. Damn.
Did he say that in present tense? I thought he and Shawn were good.
He saes they were set out to destroy
past
me.
tense. All right.
Not now.
I thought you said they are.
You know, I love it, man. This dude's always generating. Always, you know. I think. Here's the thing. If anything would have dissuaded Stephanie from marrying Triple H, it would have been seeing the dressing down he got from Bret Hart's wife at the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
you knew.
You knew, Hunter. Don't act like it. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know anything. I don't know. Come on, man up. You knew everything.
Knew everything.
All right, what do you want to talk about? Larson
on the phone.
About. Oh, bro. I knew you would be into this because you're a man of science, and I know you're all about making life EMF friendly. And we're not talking about the revolutionary pop band from the 90s.
No, we're talking about electromagnetic fields.
Right, exactly. Talk about unbelievable. Oh, my gosh. The Bronsons, Braun and Bronson versus the Usos is going to be the very first match that has the turnbuckles or the posts are going to have these EMF from this company called Aries.
Aries, yeah, the EMF like dampeners.
Yeah, it softens the EMF field. So all these people with their cell phones, they're generating these EMF fields.
Yeah.
And if you don't use these Aries like devices to alter the EMF field so that they are compatible with human body,
you're just getting blasted with all sorts of EMF.
Right.
Radiation is the idea.
Now, my thing is this. Number one, if I am CM Punk, AJ Lee, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I getting blasted with this EMF radiation? And the Usos and the Bronsons, they're going to be free of this EMF stuff?
I guess so.
That's wild. Aries also posted up a tweet about their stuff, and this was a call to investors. It says, investors, like Aries, the federal government is focused on healthy physical environments, which is what the recent Make America Healthy Again report is about, including addressing electromagnetic radiation. Learn more in our blog post summary. And there's a picture of the one, the only RFK Jr. And I went to this whole blog post here. Good Lord, what a crock of shit this is, Larson. The hidden risks in our children's environment. Electromagnetic radiation. Because we can't see it, smell it, or touch it, electromagnetic radiation tends to fly under the radar. Our children are surrounded by a growing web of these fields, from wireless signals, smart devices, cellular infrastructure that could be shaping their health in ways we're only beginning to understand. My favorite part about this, and realize that I'm being sarcastic as fuck before you start taking this seriously. It says this. The science around it is still evolving. The Maha report calls for precaution, citing the National Institute of Health's National Toxicology Program, which, quote, identified clear evidence of DNA damage and increased cancer risk in rats. It also references a recent systematic review of over 50 studies that resulted in, quote, inadequate evidence on the impact of EMFs in children, calling for more high-quality research. There's a lot of little cherry picking there.
Yeah.
Of shit that I don't think really connects any dots.
No, as far as I'm aware, there's been no direct link to EMF radiation and any sort of health issues. So.
Yeah. So, this is just they're sponsoring, they're one of the WWE sponsors for this event. This is not, some altruistic thing that WWE, we got to make sure our wrestlers are free of EMF radiation now.
This is sort of like when the Baloose renamed Arco Power Balance?
I think it was Power Balance, yeah.
Power Balance Pavilion, yeah. Where these wristbands were supposed to have all these holistic benefits to you, and it was nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, anyways,
now's the time.
Hey, dude. Let me ask this though. Let me ask this.
Sure.
Do you think if the Usos and Braun and Bronson are running speeds like Usain Bolt in there, if their vertical matches Air Jordans, if all of a sudden Jey Uso doesn't get gassed after his entrance and he's just on fire the entire time, wouldn't that change your mind about this EMF thing?
No,
if they all of a sudden, if it was like, what was that movie where there was that goo that makes people bounce and stuff?
Flubber?
Yeah, if they looked like they had flubber on, wouldn't you be like, okay, well, what a crazy coincidence this is?
No,
there got to be more to that.
It wouldn't be that sudden.
Maybe it would be though. I'm saying if there's no EMF in the ring.
No, it's not saying there's no EMF, just less, Steve.
I thought that it was changed to conform with the human body.
No, it's like shielding. It's like trying to shield you from the EMF.
I'll be honest with you. I did actually look at I went to and I said for the audio crowd, I'm using quotation marks, the science of it. And it does actually claim to conform the EMF to the body. That's the claim. I'll be honest with you. There are a lot of formulas and equations on there, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't know what any of this means.
Doesn't mean anything. That's the thing, Steve.
It's not like I can look. Here's the thing. I can't disprove it based on the calculations they have because I'm not a mathematician or a physicist or whatever else I would have to be.
But the idea that altering EMF radiation to make it more, healthy for the human body.
Would I be shocked if they simply were they went on Google and said they typed in, complex math equations, and then copy paste?
It's entirely possible.
I wouldn't know any different.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is just wild, dude. It's wild, and I cover the hurt over this being our trajectory with humor because this is fucking fucked up.
It is. It's so messed up.
Oh man. Anyway,
let's do some All Out predictions. What do you say?
Time for All Out predictions.
So we got 10 matches announced.
Oh fuck me in the. Did you? I don't know what points I got on all this
stuff. You didn't do any of this in advance? You knew we were doing it?
I had to take a shower.
Do it in the shower.
Oh, man. I'm too busy thinking of this EMF radiation in the shower, dude. Oh, my gosh. How am I going to get it to conform to my body?
It's not.
That's what I want it to do.
It's not going to conform to your body. It's not going to magically be healthier for you, Steve.
Okay, so hold on a second.
It's not bad for you to begin with.
10 matches, you say?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well,
let's
go ahead
and
go ahead and start with that one.
It's a 4-way tag team ladder match, like announced last night, and the field is already filled out. It's Brodito, it's the Young Bucks, it's Jet Speed, and it's Josh Alexander and Hechicero.
Okay. All right.
Those are your 4 teams. Brodito's retaining. I'm guessing off of this match, because I'm kind of surprised that they didn't do the Young Bucks versus Jet Speed, because they were kind of teasing something in the couple of weeks in advance of last week. So I'm guessing coming out of this, we're going to get Young Bucks and Jet Speed in a feud. Brodito's going to retain. I think I have 4 confidence points, 3 confidence points on Brodito retaining, just because, it's a ladder match. No one has to get pinned.
Anything
4 teams
can happen,
in the field.
But, yeah, I definitely feel you on that one. I will put 4 confidence points on that. What did you put? You put 3. I put 4 confidence points on the same Brodito.
Yeah, Brodito's totally going to Next up here for the Unified Championship, you got Okada defending against Takeshita and Mascara Dorada, who won a match last night against Frank Mortos to earn the right to eat the pin in this Unified Championship match.
Yeah.
Who do you got, Steve?
I've got Okada. Right now, I've only got... You know what? I'll put Okada with... Yeah, I'll keep it this way. I've got Okada with 3 right now. Because if they want to take that title off Okada and put it on Takeshita and cause some more drama, they can do it using Mascara Dorada. That being said, I don't anticipate that happening, which is why I've got Okada with 3 confidence points.
I got Okada with 5. I think a more likely scenario as opposed to, say, Takeshita winning the title without pinning Okada is that Takeshita's on the verge of winning the title.
Mm-hmm.
Okada does a thing where he chucks him out of the ring and then covers Mascara Dorada to get the win.
It would be kind of awesome if Okada did that, the old, like, I'm going to steal your finisher type thing. Like, he finishes him and then he throws him out. Yeah, I could see that happening.
So I got Okada with 5. Next up, Eddie Kingston, his return match.
Eddie Kingston.
Taking on Big Bill.
Big Bill.
I got Eddie with... Is that right? I didn't mean to put Eddie with 9, but I have Eddie with 9. He's not losing his return match. He's super popular, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious, and I think I want... Let me ask you this, I guess. Eddie Kingston being... Them setting up this match this way.
Mm-hmm.
Having it against Big Bill. The setup was on Collision. And then not having Eddie show up until the actual pay-per-view. Are they doing kind of a, let's see how Eddie's feeling out in his first match instead of putting him in a higher, more prominent position? Do you think that's the reason why? Because this is not as prominent position I would think that they would put Eddie Kingston
in. It could be a situation.
Or are you like, this is exactly where he belongs?
That could be a situation where they're kind of working him back into, AEW slowly. He was out 16 months, knee injury.
God, it's been that long. Wow.
That's what Big Bill said last night on Supersized Dynamite.
That's wild.
And you'd think he wouldn't come back till he had, finished his rehab, medically cleared, so on and so forth. So you wouldn't think it'd be a medical thing where they're taking it slow. I think it's just a situation, He's what, in his 40s probably?
Oh,
He's been wrestling for a long time.
Yeah. Looks like he's in his 60s, yeah.
Have him have a few matches, work back into it, and then go from there. That'd be my guess. Next up, Mercedes.
Did I say, by the way, I got Eddie with 6? I don't even know. I think I just started talking instead of saying it. I have Eddie with 6.
Eddie with 6. Next, for the TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné versus Riho. Steve, who do you got?
Could be, I got Mercedes. Could be 10, but the first batch. The top batch are all foregone conclusions, and this is as well. I have Mercedes with 8. No way she's going to lose this.
Initially, I had Mercedes with 10, and then on Dynamite / Collision last night, she stood tall, and I don't think she's going to lose, but I'm kind of temper the amount of confidence points I'm going to put on this match because of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other shows between now and All Out, so that's the go-home there where she stands tall.
Correct.
So, but yeah, I don't think she's losing, so I got Mercedes with 8. Let's talk about this one. MJF versus Mark Briscoe in a tables and tacks match.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
I got MJF with 7. I think Mark Briscoe is a really high-profile depth guy there for AEW, and yeah, I got MJF. I got 7 confidence points on this.
I got MJF with 1. I think there is a possibility that Mark Briscoe actually wins this match.
Holy shit! Explain yourself, sir.
I mean, Mark Briscoe's lost everything in this feud.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to win, but I don't feel super confident MJF's going to go in there. MJF just tried to get out of this match.
Yeah.
It's a possibility, a slim possibility that Mark Briscoe could get this win.
MJF just doesn't like getting dirty. He's like, it's like me. It's like, I know the dishes have to get done, and I do them just fine. I don't like to do them. I like to try to get out of doing them. But,
who doesn't? I don't like doing them either, but I do them too.
I'd rather do them than try to convince one of my kids to do them. Try doing that. It's like,
it takes less time to just do them.
You just do them. Yeah, exactly. It's probably bad parenting, but whatever. Yeah, I got MJF with 7. I don't see there's any chance of him losing this match.
Next up, Hurt Syndicate taking on Ricochet and Gates of Agony. So Hurt Syndicate stood tall last night.
Yeah, that was the one. That's a little bit more curious to me. Like, Mercedes ain't going to lose that.
No.
She's not going to lose. But this
And
one,
it's a possibility that her syndicate could lose because not only the go-home math, but also, the stuff from Fightful about MVP wanting to put over whenever they lost the tag titles, an up-and-coming team. And one of the teams mentioned was Gates of Agony.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a situation where MVP's like, I'll get pinned to help get Gates of Agony over more. Entirely possible.
Yeah, I will say this about that. I will believe that when I see it.
Yeah, same.
Hurt Syndicate are incredibly popular. And I feel like you still need to go a ways to get Ricochet and Gates of Agony to the point where they'll really benefit from this. You can't take people who are just cold and give them a big win and expect that to be the thing. You have to build people to a degree. And I just, honestly, I don't see them at that point yet. I feel like they need to work their way up to Hurt Syndicate to beat them. It would just be like a what? That's what it would be. And then it's like, okay, do you really get anything out of it? So I still have Hurt Syndicate with 5. Maybe there's a longer story here. I don't know. Hurt Syndicate's in such a funny place because there are these absolute dominant, monsters who the crowd love. And it's like, okay, well, you have a problem booking them in as tag champions because nobody realistically can beat them. You come up with the stupidest finish to have them losing the title last month.
Yeah, that was a pretty lame finish.
So, I don't know. I got Hurt Syndicate with 5.
Next up, 4-way match for the AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm defending against Chris Statlander, Tekla, and Jamie Hayter. Go ahead, Steve.
I got Toni Storm with 9 because that's just, it's Toni Storm. And if somebody's going to beat her, it's going to be a one-on-one. I mean, yeah, could they do the thing where we're trying to protect Toni so somebody else gets it and sneaks it out of there? I mean, I guess maybe, but I don't really see that happening. I got Toni with 9.
I got Toni with 7. It's just because there's 4 competitors in this match, I got a little less confidence. But I don't think Toni's losing this. So 7 confidence points on Toni Storm retaining. Next coffin match, you got Mox taking on Darby Allin.
Darby.
What do you think Bryan Danielson whispered in Darby's ear?
He said, make me one. I just want you to do one thing for me. And he says, I want you to promise that you're going to do this. He said this. Shit your pants during the match. Darby said, you got it. Because he knows that'll freak out Mox. Get him off his game. Push him in there. Little Darby turds everywhere. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking he told him. What do you think he told him?
I mean, honestly, I thought that he probably said, hey, if you get a chance, do the plastic bag thing to Mox like he did to me.
Oh, yeah, that could be.
Not
it's kind of wordy, though. I feel like it was like it was like a hot take. He had to keep it to 5 words. What do you think those 5 in that could do the plastic bag thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 5 words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It is 5 words. Yeah. I got Darby with 6. He's gonna win.
Yeah, I got Darby with 1 because fucking I don't know. He probably will, but it's a fucking coffin match. It's a Death Riders. A lot going on here. Danielson might not be able to keep his butt seated. I don't know. I think you're right. I think Darby's gonna win. That's why I have Darby. But this is the one kind of wild card thing for me where I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Everything else I'm really pretty sure of, except for
the last match.
The last match, but even that I'm pretty sure of.
There's kind of one fact that kind of pushes over the top. But anyways,
the location, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Let's talk about the AEW World Championship match. We both have Hangman with 10.
Next.
No discussion, no debate necessary. Next, Cope and Christian taking on FTR. I have the same thing as you. I have Cope and Christian with 2. They're wrestling in their hometown, so you wouldn't think they would lose that match.
No.
They stood tall on Dynamite last night, though. This isn't canon because it didn't happen on TV, but Dax did say on Twitter if they lost, he would retire from pro wrestling.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was just a response to somebody on Twitter, so take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
And if this match wasn't in Toronto,
Yeah,
I'd be like, all right, I could see Cope or Christian taking an L to FTR, knowing that they'd probably get that win back at some other point.
it would
But since it's in Toronto,
it would accomplish,
and if it's the main event,
yeah.
Cope and Christian have to win.
It would accomplish several things, them losing to FTR. Number one, I honestly believe Cope and Christian would be totally fine adding to the legacy of FTR. Absolutely, 1,000% they would.
Yeah.
And maybe there is like the element of, well, we're going to put on a 5-star match. Toronto's going to love the shit regardless. Maybe they can get their shit in afterwards. But FTR gets the win in Toronto, which would be shocking because then FTR would be able to say, not only did we beat them in their hometown. So, yeah, but I don't think that there's any... And on top of that, you have a perfectly good reason because this is not the same Cope and Christian as Edge and Christian was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not on this necessarily on the same page as characters.
Mm-hmm. It's a partnership of convenience.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I still have Cope and Christian, but I got 2 confidence points. Not super confident.
Not super confident, no. All right, we can run through Dynamite. It was kind of a talky episode of Dynamite. There was a lot of talking.
It was trying to convince us to get this show. It wasn't really like... It wasn't really like...
effective job of that.
It was like, oh, no, listen. It's like, no, I want action now. Like, you should be, setting up these stories in a compelling way prior to your pay-per-view. So I will be like, oh, I want to know what happens next. As opposed to, God, man, when they had that contract signing with Hangman and Fletcher, I was like, I don't know. Look, I'll put it this way. I really love the character arc of Hangman and the way the performer portrayed that.
Mm-hmm.
But now when he's babyface Hangman who just talks a lot, I just don't find it terribly compelling. If he had something interesting to say, I probably would.
And that's the thing, is because they're going to the old trope of, oh, you think you're ready to be champion, but you're not ready.
It's such a placeholder thing.
It is. And, they draw the parallels between Hangman when AEW started and they try to in Fletcher. And I did like where Hangman says, the worst part is when you wake up the next morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the loss has ruined you. And what really matters is how you respond to that. Mm-hmm. Because that's Hangman's story right there.
Yeah.
So that was one detail I did appreciate. Otherwise, it was just a lot of Kyle Fletcher saying, oh, I'm ready, I'm the best, and I'm going to prove it. I'm better than you were in 2019, better than you were in 2021, definitely better than you now. And Hangman saying, no, you're not ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And here's a warning. When you lose, it's going to wreck you.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it. And then it culminated with Fletcher saying, I'm a man of my word, so no Callis family beat down now, no Callis family interference at All Out. But by the end of the night, I'm going to leave you bloody. Which that didn't even happen, because at the very, very end of 3 hours of Dynamite / Collision, the main event was part of the tag team qualifier deals. It was Top Flight versus Josh Alexander and Hechicero. Callis family team gets the win after Alexander pushes Dante Martin off the top rope. Hechicero hits a guillotine. So Christopher Daniels was in Top Flight's corner. He gets in the ring to check on Dante. He's surrounded by the Callis family. Scorpio Sky and Jet Speed rush to the ring to make the save. You get this huge brawl that breaks out. Young Bucks join in. Brodito join in. Eventually, the Callis family corners Daniels in the ring. Hangman runs in to make the save with the chair. Fletcher slides in the ring to try to attack him. Page spots him, but Rocky Romero grabs Page's ankle, so Fletcher lays him out. And eventually, Fletcher hits Hangman with a brain buster off the apron through a table on the floor. No blood, though. And then holds up both the titles to end the show.
Yeah, like the most go-home math right there.
Oh, yeah.
But, I really like Fletcher. And I would imagine, wasn't there like the idea that this spot would have gone to somebody else, but it was because
No,
of injury.
I think there was some talk about Wardlow, but I don't.
Oh,
think it was.
Wardlow, that's right.
It was Fightful that at first said they heard that maybe I think is what it was.
Okay.
Either there was talk or they had heard that Wardlow was slated for the spot before the injury, and then they corrected that and said no. Wardlow apparently was in line for some high profile stuff, but not this spot.
Okay, all right, good on you.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, All Out in general, it's going to be. I think the wrestling's going to be really, really good. I just hope they sort of like drudge up some compelling stuff before Wrestle Dream in October.
I know too much of the feud, especially on this go home, just led to huge brawls.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened at the end with the Callis family and Jet Speed and Top Flight, so on and so forth. And it happened at the end of the second hour where Dynamite would end. So Toni Storm comes out before the main event, drops a promo, and is kind of questioning whether she's going to be able to retain at All Out. She says, I won the title 7 months ago. I've slain beast belt collectors and forever champs, and I've loved every single second of it. AEW is where the best wrestle, and if you're not one to put your life on the line every time you step in the ring, then you ain't shit. She says, now I'm going to risk it against 3 women who are all worthy of this mantle. So if this is indeed the end of my reign, then it's been the honor of my life to be champion. She says, but ladies, if you really want to take my title, then I suggest that you burn my body to the ground and pack my ashes into a little pipe and take a big puff, because nobody can take you as high as I can.
You know, that is one of the things central to Toni Storm that, because you and I have talked about, we talked about last week, people who are never going to go back to WWE. And she was on the list, and then she said, like a couple days later on the MVP podcast, that's the case. She's like, yeah, I'm never going back to that place. I'm an AEW lifer. And that is one thing, like the innuendo and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if she'd be able to get away with much of that.
Yeah, certainly not as much. So then Jamie Hayter steps in. So Tony's standing on the stage, single spotlight.
And that's how the entire thing is framed. So each of the competitors come out, and they say their shit.
Yeah.
And then Tony's interrupted by Tekla. She walks out to the stage. The refs hold Tony back. And then we have Tekla versus Queen Aminata in a no-holds-barred main event. Tekla gets the win after hitting a stomp into a chair. It was a fun match, though.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then Tekla gets on a mic, calls out Tony, says, your end is right here. And then a big brawl happens. So, like, Tony runs to the ring, ground and pound. Hayter runs to the ring. Stat runs to the ring. Hart and Sky run down to help. I like that bit with the Hart and Sky doing, like, their little witches thing in, like, a parking lot.
Yeah, because they're having, on the kickoff show for All Out, they're having what they call, like, a tailgate brawl or something.
Tailgate brawl, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it'd have to be in the parking lot.
Yeah, it's just funny. They're doing like a broad daylight witches chant in a parking lot.
Yeah. So yeah, it ends with a big scrum, and then it ends with Tony turning around right as Jamie is about to punch her, but Jamie stops, and then refs and producers get in there to break him up. So the go home segment for this Cope and Christian FTR business was an in-ring promo. Cope and Christian come to the ring first, followed by FTR and Stokely. And Cash relays the story of befriending Cope, because I guess Cash was working at a gym. Cope came in, they hit it off. Says Cope became a mentor for them, opened doors for them, and says since then FTR become the best tag team in the world. Says we got you back in the ring, but you came to AEW and you made it the Cope show and expected us to be your supporting cast. He says, 6 years ago, we helped you get your career back, and on Saturday, we're going to take it away for good. Dax talks about their accolades. Cope takes the mic from him, tells him to shut up.
The lore here is interesting, because he said 16 years ago he met Cope for the first time. And I believe he said, so Cash worked at a gym when he was around 22 years old. Mm-hmm. Edge comes in. It was 2009, I think.
I wonder if Cash says, I think I know you.
And Edge probably loved it because he's super corny. But then at some point,
and did this.
Yeah. And then at some point, Cash was homeless, and Edge let him stay at his house
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Networking is important.
It is.
It's really important. You can be working at a gym and then become a legendary tag team wrestler because of your networking skills. You see Edge come in, you think you know me. I think I know you.
I think I know you.
Butter him up. And then even if you can't make rent, go stay at Edge's house. That's some Cash Wheeler with the networking skills. You got to appreciate that.
Says, hey, Cope, on this day I see clearly I'm crashing on your couch.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So then Cope says, no, I came excuse me, I came to AEW to work with you. The reason you were in the spotlight because the fans don't want you in the spotlight. They wanted me in the spotlight. And he says, yeah, you're FTR, you're in discussion of being the best tag team of all time. Well, welcome to the conversation. We've been there for 20 years. This is now on Saturday, two of the greatest tag teams ever facing off in our hometown. When we drag you down to the deep water, you understand there's only one, Cope and Christian. Christian grabs the mic and says, nope, Christian and Cope. So Cope says FTR will understand why they're better than them. Christian takes the mic. So earlier on, Stokely says, if any physicality, there's be $100,000 fine that anybody touches him, they're going to owe him $500,000. So Christian says, $100,000 is a lot of money. And with $500,000, Stokely might be able to get himself some hose. He says, at the risk of sounding like an asshole, $100,000, hell, $500,000 doesn't mean a damn to me because I'm rich. And then he smacks Dax right in the nose with the mic.
Yeah, yeah.
Another brawl breaks out.
Yeah.
More security. Christian and Cage. Christian and Cope clear the ring.
I want to bring this up really quick. Of course, the September Predictions Challenge is going down this weekend. All Out in WRESTLEPALOOZA. Be the guy to dethrone the guy that cashed in on Steve here. The coronation of Larson as champion, I said it, is happening today. We made it like a short, and I'm going to put it up.
Why didn't I get a stream?
What?
Why didn't I get a stream?
A stream?
We did it when I won the first time. We won it when you won.
I know, but this is like,
I get a lowly short now. That was sprung on me yesterday when we were playing basketball.
Don't underestimate shorts. It's the way that everybody communicates these days. TikTok and YouTube channel. I don't like that face you're giving me right now. Anyways, it's not too late to participate to try to dethrone Larson. The champion. I said it. Who, of course, is the guy that dethroned the guy, cashed in on Steve.
You got to put that on there.
It's okay. The way you participate, of course, become a channel member by clicking join right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson, or you can go to patreon.com/Steven Larson. Click on the Friendo Club setup. It's $5 a month. Memberships are $5 a month. Either way you do it, don't do both, just do one or the other. And you get access to the same things. Bonus episodes. We did the big Hilton interview this past month. And then the question threads for the shows as well. You get access to all that stuff for your membership fee. And, of course, the access to the Predictions Challenge. I believe the form up now?
It is.
The form is up now. So if you are already a member, be sure to get on there and fill in your predictions.
Indeed. We had Riho taking on Robin Renegade ahead of her all-out match against Mercedes. Mercedes comes out and joins commentary. Riho gets the win with the crucifix bomb. Mercedes then leaves the commentary table right as Robin grabs Riho's ankle. So the Mercedes gets in the ring and hits Riho with a backstabber and holds up the TBS title.
I wonder, there still is, this is silliness, but there still is like the pre-show. Maybe they'll do a quick backstage angle. Riho stands tall. You know what I mean?
Possible.
Like,
yeah.
There are more things they can do in terms of the go-home match. And sometimes the go-home match just doesn't pan out. Also, we had MJF going into... so we had a recap of their beef. And then MJF's comments at Collision. He busts into Tony Khan's office. And we just hear the audio. We're not in there. And he's like, you screwed me at Forbidden Door. Now I want out of this tables and tax match. I'm a real pro wrestler. You know how much I'm worth to you. I want out of the match. And Tony Khan, you hear him say, oh, you know what? I owe you nothing. You violated the rules of AEW, especially as it pertains to Mark Briscoe. I don't owe you anything. And then he says, the match stands. And MJF says, I hope you're happy when there's another Briscoe in the dirt. Ah.
So the first match of the night was Mox taking on Roderick Strong. Beginning of this 3 hours was preceded by a video package hyping up Mox versus Darby at All Out.
Yeah, there was a fun bit during this match when Roderick Strong had to face off with his wife, Marina Shafir.
Yeah, they didn't reference that on TV, though.
No, I think they just sort of rely on everybody knowing that.
I guess so. So the finish saw Yuta run to ringside to trip up Roddy, and then Mox hits him with the paradigm shift, locks on the bulldog choke. Roderick taps pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, we get a Darby sit-down interview with Danielson that we referenced during our predictions. Darby here says he's asked why he climbed Mount Everest, and he says, I did it because I felt like I was living my life for someone else. I wanted to remind myself what I was capable of. He says, you know, Brian, didn't Mox consider you family, yet he turned on you? He said, I would never do something like that. I would never turn my back on someone I considered family. Never turn my back on Sting. He's asked if he's ready for the coffin match, and Darby says, I don't know. But one thing I don't want is for you to get involved. I hold myself accountable for what happened at Wrestle Dream. And Bryan Danielson's like, no, it wasn't your fault. And Darby insists, no. My fault, and I don't want you to get involved. And then Danielson says, yes, I promise you I won't get involved, but you have to promise me one thing. And that's when he whispers something in Darby's ear. When they come back to commentary, they ask Danielson, what'd you whisper? And Danielson says, fuck off. I'm not telling you.
Yeah. I wonder, I don't expect him to be there, but if he told Darby, have somebody to have your back.
Oh, and Sting? Yeah, that could be. Because Darby had a bit of a smirk on his face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe he just said, make sure you have your family there or something like that. With
something like that, yeah.
Sting.
Yeah, that could be. That could be.
And then we had Death Rider's promo later on where Garcia challenges Shibata to a match on the pre-show of All Out.
Tailgate
Joe
brawl.
responds and accepts the challenge.
Then we had Hurt Syndicate. We had Toa Leona taking on Bobby Lashley.
This match was pretty fun.
Yeah, no, it was. It was
that
fun
Samoan
stuff.
drop spot on the apron sucked.
Yeah, that looked brutal.
That looked like it hurt.
Yeah. Speaking of Hurt, Lashley won with a Hurt Lock after a bunch of shenanigans from Hurt Syndicate and the rest of Ricochet and Gates of Agony.
Yeah, their group doesn't have a name yet. They need a name.
Yeah, they need a name. Yeah. Toa ends up, let's see here. So Toa ends up passing out. Ricochet and Khan hit the ring, instantly fended off by Shelton and MVP. So Hurt Syndicate stand tall there. I think they're still going to win that match, but yeah, maybe not. And then we had the Young Bucks. There was a ladder match, a 4-way ladder tag match announced for All Out. Young Bucks are in it. So we had the Young Bucks, and they're back on top. Fancy suits, that money that Mox granted them from winning that match last week. He was able to go to the slot machines, paid off production. They got pyro, their entrance music, everything's back. And they had the Bang Bang Gang, and they gave Renee $10,000 as well. Mm-hmm. So they took on the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn, and the Young Bucks got the win with a Meltzer driver on Juice. And then later on, Alicia Toot interviews Top Flight, Scorpio Sky, and Christopher Daniels, Fallen Angel, the higher power.
Yeah, would be higher power.
Yeah, and then Darius, hey, we've done a roll. Later on, we're going to go to win to All Out. Heyman shows up. He's like, hey, keep your eyes peeled for the Callis family. And then Christopher Daniels says, we're going to be looking out for the Callis family tonight. You need to take care of Fletcher on Saturday. And then later on, we had Kill Switch and Kip Sabian taking on Jet Speed for a spot in the tag title ladder match. And then Kip Sabian and Kill Switch lose this match. So whatever they're called, the family, what are they called?
Matriarchy,
yeah. They're down bad.
Well, yeah, Nick Wayne's hurt.
Yeah.
Luchasaurus walked out on Kip during this match. Kip takes the L.
Yeah. Not good for them. Not good for them.
No. Beast Mortos, Frank Mortos, had a match against Mascara Dorada for the shot or the last spot in the Unified Championship match. Dorada, this was wildly fun.
This match was awesome.
Super fun. So Dorada gets the win, hits the tilt-the-world backbreaker, follows with the shooting star press. Afterwards, Okada's music hits. He walks out with Don Callis, and right as they're approaching the ring, Takeshita's music hits. So he walks up to Okada and gets right in his face, and Callis is there trying to calm things down. And Okada's holding up the unified title in Takeshita's face, and then Dorada takes him out with a springboard splash to the floor.
That is correct.
We got a Big Bill promo where he pretty much says, I have a match against Eddie Kingston at All Out. I don't think he's going to show up, though. He says, you've been sitting on your couch for 16 months, and I've been on the run of my life. There's a lot of people who say I don't belong in the ring with Eddie, but Eddie, I think you're going to realize that you don't belong in the same ring as me. If Eddie shows up, he's going to be exposed as a fraud.
Yeah, man. Do you think, is Eddie going to show up? He's going to have Cesar Bononi in his corner with him?
He's going to have a huge bowl of fruit and yogurt, maybe some peanut butter drizzle.
Yeah. What if he's small like The Rock now? And Big Bill just completely tears him in half.
That'd be pretty shocking. It'd be pretty surprising, honestly.
Look at you. You're so small. You looks like you learned a lot of health techniques from Cesar Bononi, and you can't teach that. What are you talking about?
We got the announcement of the Tailgate Brawl. That's going to be the all-out kickoff, and there's a video package because the teams are Harley, Willow, Mina, and Queen Aminata. Taking on Megan Bain, Penelope Ford, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. And it was during this video package that Julia and Sky did the witches thing. In the
in the parking lot.
And then finally, apparently this happened in Collision. Jerry Lynn's trying to get the Acclaimed back together.
So Jerry Lynn, he was trying to help out Bowens, and then apparently on Collision, which I mentioned, I didn't watch because I watched Worlds Collide instead. That was my wrestling weekend watch. A lot happened with the Jerry Lynn, the new, like he's going to be Mr. Ass now of the Acclaimed, I guess is what he's trying to angle.
What happened to Mr. Ass, though?
I don't know. But Jerry Lynn apparently wants that role because he's trying to get the Acclaimed on the same page. What a bummer. Like, talk about wasted time. I liked what Caster was doing with his solo run.
I know.
I would have thought, I'm really curious to know what the deal is here because I don't know why, like, who really was behind the decision to break them up in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, it seems like they didn't have any plans for
like
what they're going to do with them.
Like, was it a situation where one or both members of the Acclaimed wanted out and Tony Khan was like, all right. And now they're like, oh, this wasn't a good idea because they're not doing anything with us. Can we come back together? Like, what is going on with this?
Yeah.
I have questions.
Yeah. And that was 3 hours of Dynamite Collision Super Show.
Well, you got to give it, it had a name, September to
Remember, yeah.
Remember, or Dismember, whichever.
No, Remember.
Remember?
Remember.
Remember. September to Remember.
Remember.
Would you like to answer some questions?
Let's answer some questions. I didn't see one on the Patreon, so we got a YouTube question thread.
Really? I didn't do one on the Patreon again?
No.
You know why? It's because Patreon is not on my phone. I have Patreon, but I've got my personal one, which I'm just following like the comic book. I've got like the comic book podcast that I like that I'm subscribed to. I got to get it on my phone, man.
It's all good. Let's see. PW Fox has a great question. Who'd be a better wrestler, Glenn Danzig or Henry Rollins?
I would say Henry Rollins. He is very fit. He's always stayed very fit.
Yeah.
I feel presentation Danzig a million. I
don't know, man. If the lighting is right, you're going to have, Hank singing his own song, and he gets on the top of the ramp in his little shorts, doing this thing. That's going to be awesome.
I'm not saying that's not awesome, but if you think for a second that the presentation, the packaging, and the Misfits isn't the most pro wrestling favorable presentation, oh my God, it's great.
In my mind, it's hard to get the image of Glenn Danzig carrying the kitty litter. Like, that's the first thing I think of when I see him.
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel you. That humanized him for sure. Aura lost. What's worse, that or Undertaker waiting for LeBron James?
I mean, they're kind of on the same tier, honestly.
Yeah, maybe. But, hey, he's got cats, dude. You got to get your litter somehow.
No, I get that. I understand that. I get it.
Yeah. All right. B. York says, is there the possibility that Saudi Mania might actually be good? There's a possibility, sure.
There's a possibility, sure, yeah.
I mean, if they don't go overboard with the old timers, then and they tell some good stories leading into it, then it's possible.
The show could be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. David Matushek, we kind of talked about this, but there's one part of this question that we didn't answer. With WWE going to Italy for the first ever PLE, where should it take place? Pompeii. What should it be called?
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to assume. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. Well, Pompeii's not that far. It's 158 miles. It's 2.5 hour drive to Rome.
All right.
Can you do something with that?
I mean, it'd probably be like Clash at the Coliseum then.
Okay. Well, wouldn't you need to actually be? What is the actual venue? What's the venue at Pompeii?
Oh, it's like the amphitheater in Pompeii or something like that. I think.
Is that what it is? I mean, you're not that far from Naples, but that's not really fun. Like Rome has the history.
Yeah. Which is why they'll probably actually do the show in Rome.
WWE Fall of the Empire.
Wow. Yeah.
That's really heavy.
That is.
That's super heavy. Oh, man. I don't know. Giogan T. Art. I'm sorry. I butchered his name. Jogan says, do you think the Jimmy Kimmel situation is going to affect WrestlePalooza's viewership in any way? If there's a mass protest about Disney properties in general, or the conglomerate that is Disney, ABC, Nexstar, I don't know, they're all related.
ESPN, yeah.
Right. I think probably not. But if it gets enough mainstream, if there's like a breaking point mainstream-wise where people are like, oh, fuck Disney, fuck this, fuck that, then if there's some grand organizing effort for people to tune out, but I would be surprised if something on that level spread that far across brands.
And that quickly. In a matter of a few days. But stranger things have happened. So.
I guess, yeah. Let's see here. Oh, wow. Ascending Demon says, what two lackluster factions in all of history would make a great war games if they fought each other?
Right to Censor. And
would that make a great war games, though?
And the Union.
I'm trying to think of lackluster factions that actually... Okay, let me ask you this.
Well, Mick Foley was in the Union.
You're right. Would the Dangerous Alliance be considered a lackluster faction?
I wouldn't think so. But I don't know. I don't remember how they were perceived within the world of WCW back then.
I mean, WCW itself was down bad at the time.
It's the phrase of the day, isn't it?
It makes me chuckle to no end. WCW was down bad, but they were kind of a big deal in a down bad promotion. And at the time, like, yeah, if you take time out of the equation, it's an all-time faction because look at the talent.
Mm-hmm.
But during that time, what'd they really have going for it? Rick Rude? You know what I mean?
What about Retribution? Because the faction stunk, but the talent in that faction was
dude,
good.
That's a great fucking shout there.
Yeah.
Retribution.
Mustafa Ali, Dijak, Shane Thorne.
That's great. See, that's what I'm talking about.
There's some good talent there to put on a hell of a match.
Yeah, that's good. That's
so really Retribution
good.
versus who?
Ascending Demon says, what about the WCW and Natural Born Thrills? No, I'm not going to say Natural Born Thrills. I will say, what are they called? The Filthy Animals?
Filthy Animals, yeah.
You take Disco out. Yeah. He's not in it.
No.
But, like, what do you have? Conan and Rey Mysterio? Who else was in that faction? Filthy Animals, WCW. I have an idea. Let's see. So it was Conan, Ray, Billy Kidman, Eddie Guerrero, Juventud. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That'd be awesome. That'd be a good match.
I think people in general like the Filthy Animals, but again, at the time, WCW was what, Larson?
Down bad.
Down bad.
Ronan the Analyst says, what's more of a surprise of 2025, Julia and Stephanie Vacquer's mid-main roster run, or JC Jane having a longer NXT title reign and arguably better 2025 than both? Wasn't Stephanie double champ in NXT this year?
Yeah, I don't think JC Jane had a better 2025 than Stephanie Vacquer. I mean, a bigger surprise would be JC Jane holding that NXT title at all. But that's good for her.
It is, absolutely. Let's see here. Creepshow says, with WWE purchasing AAA, do you see AAA being the place they put underutilized talent until they figure out a use for them?
Doesn't seem to be the case so far. I think that's still going to be kind of NXT. I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, well, so far, like all we have to go by is what they've done so far, and it doesn't appear to be the case. Mm-hmm. Like Omos wasn't at this last WrestleMania AAA show. He was at the one previous, but he was used in a really cool way.
That's cool. Art Guy here asks, will Sammy versus Cody main event Saudi Mania Night 2?
Well, who's Sammy and who?
Sammy and Cody.
I think it's possible. I think it's possible.
I think it is possible, too.
But, boy, I don't know. It kind of depends. It honestly, it depends on what they want to go for. Do they want to go for a guy who's, like, all in on Saudi Arabia like Sammy is? Or do they want to just be like, oh, man, you know, I love The Undertaker. It's going to be Undertaker versus Cody or Rock versus Roman. That's the obvious one.
If the General Entertainment Authority had it their way, it would be as star-studded as possible in terms of legends in the main event spots.
I agree with that, yeah.
If they can't come to terms with The Rock or Stone Cold or Undertaker, then I would think the conversation would probably move to, all right, well, we got to rely on full-time talent now. Mm-hmm. How can we put on a card?
Yeah.
I would guess that would be the conversation.
Tay Balout says, I saw a TikTok where someone said it feels like the characters and stories in WWE are all centered around a championship or the pursuit of championships, and there are no standalone stories anymore. Well, he said, do you agree with this? You can just take a look at the actual feuds going on right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Punk is going after Rollins' title.
Well, but the title is just part of the feud. It's not the sole motivation for it.
Well, centered around a championship or pursuit of championships, it all stems from the inherent. I mean, I know their feud goes beyond championships, but Seth Rollins' main thesis is, I will not let CM Punk hold the championship. So I can see how that feud is absolutely an extension of that. Yeah. Brock Cena isn't, obviously.
Mm-mm. But there really is.
Cena does call himself the last real champion still.
There's also not a story there. So.
And there's not a story there, yeah.
No story.
Usos versus Braun and Bronson isn't really
no
about... No
tag titles involved.
Yeah, that's not about a championship.
You could... Penta and the New Day isn't really about a title.
You could... Penta and New Day...
It's not directly about a championship.
No, but I'm not going directly here. Like, does it all come from that?
I mean, Penta wasn't the one that cost him the tag titles, so...
I'm trying to think, why are they in this feud?
Because Penta threw the hat at Xavier Woods.
Yeah. So that one's not. You're right. That one's not even an extension of a championship, unless you want to go really, really indirect and say, oh well, the New Day have been mourning they're grieving their loss of championship titles. I will. Yeah. You know, a lot of stuff sort of stems from championship stuff, but I mean, could they use just better? They could use just better stories. Yeah.
Yeah. Whether it involves a title or not.
I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with that because I believe it. Let's see here. We'll end on this one. We got to put on our prognostication hats. Carson asks, will Ryback ever wrestle in WWE or AEW?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. All right, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.